Hello again, Year 1. Lovely to see you again. And I've got my snowman headband on because I'm going to tell you the snowman story again. And this is chapter 2, which you haven't heard yet. So, you don't need to sit and watch. You could actually stretch out on the floor and listen. So, picture the scene in your head where we left off last week. And if you missed last week, you can still watch it on the video on your class page. So, the 10 little snowmen were fast asleep. That was Jessie, Sylvie, Ellie, Scarlett, Harrison, Olivia, Oliver, Jazzy, Freddie and Amelia. They were all fast asleep in that ice house, the one that they made yesterday. I imagine they would have been very tired, don't you? And they were also with all their new friends. Can you remember who they were? First, there was a family of fur seals. They were called Alfie, Max, Oscar, Rhea and Edward. And then came a polar bear with her 2 cubs. That was Rosie the mum, Evie B and Freddie B. And lastly that night, there was an albatross that flew in silently. That was Frankie. And we mustn't forget the penguin family across the sea, and their mum, Mrs. Snowman B. And the penguin family was Francesca and Brody, Holly, Evie May, Joshua, Ollie, Ruby, Isla and Esme. They didn't live far away. So, back to the igloo. I think it was Oscar who thought that they would be cosy, happy and warm, and you were right. And of course they were even happier when they awoke the next morning. They stretched and yawned and realised it was Christmas Day. And then they saw presents wrapped in sparkling silver paper. How do you think they felt then? Yes, very excited and a little curious. Where had they come from? I think you know. Sylvie Snowman exclaimed, "And look, the carrot we left and the fish have been eaten." They all stared. She was right. Maybe one day you can tell them who came and ate the carrot and the fish. So, after they'd opened their presents, Ella Snowman said, "We need to get some more Christmas Day food. There's not enough here to feed everybody." "Well, we can catch fish," said Alfie Seal. "And so can we," chanted the polar bear cubs, Evie B and Freddie B. "And I can glide over the sea and direct you," said Frankie Albatross. Said Scarlet Snowman. "I'm not sure we should dive into the sea." And the other snowmen nodded. I think you might be nodding too. I bet you agree that would be a foolish thing to do. So, off went the seals, the polar bears and albatross, scurrying down to the cliff edge and leaping off into the foaming waves. Down they all went, twisting and turning, diving and squirming, while the albatross Frankie glided over the sea and squawked, "Over here, tons of fish here." After a couple of hours of catching fish, they'd had enough for a huge feast, which they all ate hungrily. Harrison Snowman then exclaimed, "Let's take some to our Mother Bee Snowman." And Amelia said, "And what about the penguin family who helped us?" "Oh yes," they all agreed. "That is a good idea." So they piled the remaining fish into baskets and set off across the glistening snow. It wasn't long before they spied the penguin family. "Hey, look," chirped Ruby and Isla Penguin. "It's the snowmen." "Hello," said the snowman. "We've brought some fish for you. Thank you so much for yesterday with helping us. You were cutting all the ice blocks and we have built the most amazing igloo. You'll have to come over someday. Look, this is a basket for you. Oh, thank you. They look delicious." delicious, said Brody Penguin. Well, we can't stop today. We need to go and see our mum with a basket of fish, said Jasmine Snowman. Okay, said the penguins. Look out for crevices, though. And off they scampered across the snow towards their house, where their mum lived. And sure enough, as they tumbled over the next ridge and snowballed down, stop! In front of them was a crevice, a gap, a big crack in the ice, too wide to jump. Whatever could they do? We must find a way, said Oliver Snowman. And they sat, and they sat, and they thought, and they pondered, and they came up with a few thoughts. I know, said Freddie Snowman. I can pack myself against the ice, just like we've been made. We pack together into snowballs to make us. Why don't I pack myself against the ice and you can use me as a stepping stone? It worked a treat. And soon they were off towards their house. Mrs. B was in the garden and she saw them and came running towards them with big hugs for all of them. Oh my, B exclaimed, what a lovely basket of fish you have brought me. And they sat down for tea and told her everything that had happened. When they returned to the igloo later that evening, though, Rosie Polar Bear was looking downhearted. Whatever could be the matter? And so they asked her, are you okay, Rosie Polar Bear? Well, we're missing our friends and family in the Arctic. It's a long time since we've seen them. We've drifted all the way across the planet down to the Antarctic where we are now, and we would like to go back, said Rosie Polar Bear. Could you help us find a way back? And so they all spent the evening pondering what to do. They even called the penguin family and their mum. And so, as you are in the story, Class 1, perhaps you could come up with an idea. And we could try it in Chapter 3. So, write down your idea or tell an adult and send it to me. See you next week and we'll see how we can get the polar bears home. Bye for now.